Amit, you want to start us off?
Yes, Danny. So today I work on this custom topic thing. I had call with Ismail, so he will explain more of what he required there. So I think what exactly he wants. So I did that part. We have some dots, so he will clear it while he will click. Second thing, Danny, you sent me one problem, right? It was saying something null shared. Let me send my screen.
Oh yeah, it was a null field.
So here we're showing some like when you said it's showing something you said. Otherwise, it is saying something first name shared. So what happened? That user doesn't have first name in the database. So he has full name only, no first name. So for now, what I did, I have added first name there. But what we can do in that case? So see, this is the user 1769. He doesn't have the first name and last name. He has full name only in the DB column.
How's that possible?
How many records?
How many records? I will just tell you.
It probably happened a long time ago, Danny, when we allowed one name only, or maybe able to edit the name to one name. I don't think it's possible now.
I was just going to check if I can edit it and save it without my first note, 2 characters minimum.
There's 401 users in the database and production, but they're very old legacy users. So what we can do is we can we can fix these records if you want. The ones that have one word, that will be their first name, last name will be empty. And then for those of multiple words, we can just take the first word as their first name and everything else would be their last name.
Okay. Let's do it.
Okay.
So Jerry, will you do that or can I do that?
I got it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's 2 things on my side. So yeah, it's more about the topic what he required actually. Yeah, thank you. And go.
Do you have more on it?
No, yeah, custom topic thing today I work on. So yeah, so I have added the custom topic. We are not returning the profile key, so I work on that part. We are returning profile key now. But Ismail has some dots. It's where he will ask John actually.
Okay. Well, let's go to Jerry.
Real quick, actually, before we go to Jerry, just a question. John, who did you want me to ask about the Instagram link thing? I can't remember who you said I needed to talk to about that.
Probably Amine, which I don't think he's here yet.
Okay.
What about the Instagram link?
It's just that if I take if I want to copy something or share something from Instagram in iOS, I can hit the share button and open up the native drawer of applications that you can share something to. Almost every application on my phone shows up as a shareable option, except for Sircles.
Oh, I see. That's for me. I thought it was something about like the chat links.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Okay.
Cool. All right, Jerry.
Yep. Hey, we spent a lot of time kind of babying the new biz portal yesterday. That includes stuff such as we're adding Sentry to it, we're monitoring. There are some cases coming up where their Sircles account wasn't linking. I was able to reproduce that. We fixed that. And there's an edge case where somebody may come into the biz portal and they were not a Sircles user prior. And what's happening is that their user key is not being linked because there's no user key. So what I'm doing is I'm creating, this isn't pushed up yet, but I'm creating a user in the database, just a generic user called business user, and linking it to that phone number. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to update some queries to make sure that user isn't like searchable or filling up any, make sure that they're not searchable in a way that would prevent them from being, shown a chat. So making sure that external chats work until they really onboard into the app, and then it's like they'll get that true new user experience. But we need a Sircles user in the database so that when they claim their business, it works well with all the existing things we have in place to make sure that they properly own that business, like phone number verification and email. So I'm going to be wrapping up on that today. Last night, we got a bunch of ANRs on Android, but it was coming from like a couple people. It was like, wasn't like this widespread issue. I just kept getting like Sentry emails.
What's an ANR?
Application not responsive.
Oh,
This happens it was like a background ANR.
yeah.
But it happened in the background when they weren't really in the app. One of the users I saw, the only guy that I think one time was Diana's dad. I got the timestamp on that, so I texted him to see if he had any feedback, to see if like he was like using the app or anything when it crashed, or he just got a pop up. I'll get more info from him on that. But one of the things that I'm finding in stack trace from Sentry is so we have our background fetch for the background location, and that is triggering a check for an OTA. And the OTA, I think, was more or less intended to be fetched in the foreground, and that background fetch for the location and the OTA check are causing, competing for that thread, and that is causing kind of the lockup in the background. So actually, I passed the code through the new version of Claude with the reasoning, and I kind of passed all the stack traces to it, and we came up with a solution to just check the app state before we check for an OTA. If the app is in the background state or it's not in the active state, we'll just skip checking for an OTA, and then we have some strict timeouts that we can do to put on the location check to make sure that we just kill the task intentionally if it doesn't complete in like 10 seconds, because after 10 seconds is when you might get called an ANR. So I'm going to add a check on that. I have a PR up to discuss with Ismail and Amine when they have time. And also, I need to be dropping about like 30 minutes to bring my car in.
Okay. So, I was distracted by something. Was there a source of the ANR that you got to?
Yeah. So, two things. One is it's checking for an OTA when it's running ANR, and it's like they're competing for a thread, and it's causing it to take too long, and that's when the ANR flag gets called.
I see.
So I'm going to update it to not check for an OTA when the app's in the background state.
You can handle that from the back end?
No, this is front end.
Did that make it into the production build or the app store?
What?
The bug?
Yeah, the bug's in 2.2. Well, it's been in the versions of the app since since we added OTA.
I see.
But I'm starting to get a lot of stack traces, and I kind of fed them through into AI, and now that's what it's saying, is that something that it's saying a lot is the OTA getting called during the background fetch, and that's causing issues.
Okay. Are you handling the front end part of it, or?
Yeah, I got a PR up. I sent it to Ismail and Amine, and I'll be waiting their feedback.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Jerry. Ismail, did you get that?
Yeah, I just need to kind of look at the PR. And
Yeah.
also, I'd recommend Amine to look at it because he worked on OTA, so.
Yeah, that's true.
There's not a lot of work done to the actual OTA part. All we're doing is we're checking the app state. Before we check, we're going to check the app state. When it's not in the active state, we're just going to skip the OTA check. A lot of the code is done in the background task. So what I've done is it's created a new method called with timeout. So it's going to kill the task if it runs longer than like 10 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I think you might be on the right track here, because we noticed that a lot of these OTAs, or ANRs happen when the user's coming back from the background. Like the app was in the background and then they reopened it. That's why I understood how Chantel and Todd were getting it a lot. So, I mean, could be on the right track here, hopefully.
When speaking of these defects here, you had a couple, Ismail, you were looking at yesterday that were causing problems. How did that go?
Yeah, so I successfully added a limit to the number of API calls that can be called consistently. So what happens is there's a 2-second delay for each retry, and it only does it up to 3 retries that it stops.
Okay.
Therefore, it's not slowing down the server by calling the API over and over and over again.
Did you talk about the toast, Ismail? That if it does time out?
So yeah, that one, John, so when it times out, we don't do anything at the moment. Do we want to do anything? Or not if times out, like, so basically if API fails 3 times.
Yeah, what would the user experience in that case?
Well, they just won't, the action they are, if it's a mutation, like, let's say it was updating an image, it won't update the image.
Right, so elements of the screen might not load.
Yeah, well, it depends. If it's a mutation, then and this a lot of times does happen with a mutation, but basically just whatever they were doing won't.
Yeah, we should probably have a warning like you're experiencing a low internet connection. I've seen that before with other apps.
Yeah, so we initially did like a toast, which we initially had, but then we removed. I remember it was requested to be removed, but then, so do we want that back?
Well, I think we removed it because it was like firing off it was too sensitive.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was like, I was seeing it like constantly. So yeah, I think we should have it, but like not so sensitive.
Well, only after the 3 fails should be sufficient.
That's like, one way to do it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's gonna happen after the 3 fails because
the one we had was based on, I guess, a signal. Like it was, if it had a weak signal.
I think it might have been after 3 fails or 4 fails, the other one. But the thing is, the 3 fails would happen in a second because there was no delay.
Interesting.
So that's why maybe it was super sensitive. So what's the syntax we want on the toast?
Well, what did it? You said we already have one. Maybe it's already got wording on it.
It's gonna use the exact same message.
I think so. Will you send it to me?
Yeah, let me get that code. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, it says, I don't know if I like this message, but text 1, the top will say Apollo network error, which I don't know if the user's not gonna know what Apollo is. And then then the second one says, oops, something went wrong, please try again.
No, that's not good either. And why are there 2 different ones?
What's that?
Why are there 2 different ones?
One's the title, one's the body.
I see.
So if you want, you can give me a new title and a body, or just a title, whatever it is. Just let me know. Just send it to me in the format of title, body, and if it's only title, just only title.
Okay, so it's not 2. It wasn't 2 different toasts, but you said you read 2 different messages.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Text 1 and text 2, the title and the body.
Oh, but I'm asking, what were they associated with? Why, why separate ones?
One is the title of the toast, and one is the body of the toast.
Okay, when you read them to me, it sounded like 2 completely different toasts with 2 titles.
No, text 1, it means title. Apollo network error, that's the title. Okay. The body says, oops, something went wrong, please try again.
Okay, and that was triggering with a bad internet connection?
That was triggering when you have, after 3 retries.
After 3 retries.
which pretty much happened instantly because there was no delay.
Okay. Jerry, how many times this retry situation, we can retry like within milliseconds, right? So is it going to be
We don't want to try those.
Retry without milliseconds.
So is there a lag between the retries now?
A delay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Like on purpose.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I just don't want it to fire off a toast every time, like people are doing something.
It's only going to happen once. So the thing is like if it goes and it tries 3 times, it's going to try 3 times and then show the toast. Which it really shouldn't do it. The only time where they would get a lot of errors, which the retry would be spacing it out, is like the moment that something's being pushed up to the back end. Because when you do a deploy in the back end, it like takes the server offline for a few seconds.
Okay.
That would be the only time that they would probably get that modal, and then like next thing they know, everything's better.
Okay. Let's see. And so how much is the delay between the 3 tries?
2 seconds each.
2 seconds. So it could take 6 seconds potentially.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And if it's trying 3 times, there's a good chance it's probably gonna fail. But
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Is 2 seconds too long? Like, what if the first one's a fluke and the next one works immediately after, but you gotta wait 2 more seconds?
1 second might be fine.
Yeah, I think 1 second should be.
Yeah, it could be fine.
okay, so we can also we can have the initial delay time, and we can have like what that means is the initial retry can be like, let's say 2 seconds, and then after that it can be 1 second.
Okay.
So do we want the initial retry to just be a little bit?
Yeah, I want the initial retry faster.
You want the initial retry faster? Okay, then I'll just make them all 1 second.
Yeah, I think that's probably safe. Okay, I just sent you the title and the body.
Okay. Then I will add that in.
Okay.
Okay. Jerry, done with your updates because I have a few things I want to go over, or you still have more?
No, that's all I got. I gotta finish up that create user mutation on the biz portal. Just gonna have to handle all the edge cases, making sure the external tenants work fine. But yeah, you can go ahead.
All right, cool.
Jerry also finished up his side of the connection for the API that we're using, or the connection that we're using at Field 3.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, Morrow said that's working all fine. So
yeah, Morrow and Jerry redesigned it completely from my original design. It's way more efficient, and it's just going to run nightly. So we're finishing up the connection points in Field 3 for that right now.
Fantastic. So yeah, what else is now?
So I guess let's start with the app rating first. So when it comes to app rating, we need a kind of a time when to display it, and the library itself gives us like rules that we should kind of take into consideration, according to the human interface guidelines, which is don't call the store the review modal from a button. Instead, try calling it after the user has finished some signature interaction in our app. So it's more like, you know what I mean, like they want us like maybe after a certain API call or after they level up, or something that happens pretty much maybe once or twice.
Yep.
Like, because the second rule is don't spam the user with this.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
And then the third one is don't request a user to write when user is doing something time sensitive like navigating.
Right.
Then they said don't
Writing
ask the
a
user.
chat message.
Yeah. And they said, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but so this is for reviews. We're going to start kind of asking for reviews when they're navigating through the app.
Yeah, somewhere strategic. Maybe like after you added a favorite, let's say. I feel like that would be like a solid place to ask.
Maybe not their first favorite. So what kind of we've learned in the past with some people who kind of really ran a good business at, you know, app store optimization and review gathering is we worked with these guys. Ismail, could you mute yourself?
Oh.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, for GiftStar, we worked with some guys that are really good at app store optimization, and one of their key things, for example, in GiftStar was you don't want to do it after the first action. For example, like I think we had triggers to trigger a review prompt maybe after like they made 5 gifts, or maybe not 5, but like 3 gifts, and then maybe they shared something, and like after like their second share, so maybe like after their second favorite or something that they
That makes sense.
that they get a prompt. And but then yeah, we back it off, and you want to make sure that there's an option for kind of like don't bother me again, because then if they keep getting bothered, they're going to write you a bad review. So you want to really do it when they're feeling a little good and warm and fuzzy, and that's how you get the best reviews on it.
Yeah. So how fancy do we want to get? Let's say we said we don't want to do it after the first of any action. But maybe the best actions are sharing something, favoriting something, checking in. So let's say those 3 things, let's just say. But we want to use a combination of those 3. And on the third one of any of those 3. Like, or, I mean, obviously that's more complicated than simply just saying the second time they favorite. You know, so I just wondering, I don't want to have any unintended consequences of trying to get too fancy, but it just depends on what you guys tell me. If you feel like it's easy to make it based on a few different things. What do you think, Ismail?
Do you think writing a trust tip is an action? John?
Well, actually, I think I'll share the development. Sorry, I just shared the rules that they recommend, so keep in mind. Yeah, go ahead, Danny, what were you saying?
I was saying, do you think writing a trust tip is one of those actions where prompting with that modal might make sense because you get enough value out of it, not only to favorite, but to take the time to write a trust tip, and then you kind of feel good about what you just wrote, and then boom.
What about after a badge?
Well, I mean, the number one bullet point here that that Ismail just shared is in Slack is it's basically saying, don't do it when they're doing something important, but instead try calling it after the user has finished some signature interaction. Signature interaction for us is a favorite. That's a signature interaction. Checking in is close to that, inviting a friend. So I think I agree with this too. If they're taking signature actions, then they're more likely to be happy with the app. So this goes back to what I was asking. If somebody shares something, checks in and favorites, can we start counting those before, and then like by the time that we get to the third one, then when they're done with the signature action, we provide them with that modal?
Yeah, maybe we have some API call for that, or something of that, or something to keep track. I'd say maybe the second favorite would be a good time, or the third. What are you thinking?
Second or third, but here's the thing. Some people only add one favorite, but they still use the app. And I don't want to not get a review from them. So maybe it's one favorite plus one share or one check-in,
You could write logic to have it done at a frequency, right? Like we don't only have to ask once, we just can't spam them, right? Like
Yeah.
if we did it once a month.
But the most important thing to determine now is when to trigger it the first time. Let's start
Yeah.
with that.
Totally agree. After a favorite makes perfect sense.
Right. I don't know if necessarily the first favorite is the
Yep.
answer.
Agreed. Yeah, you could almost even go with like when the user has reached level 3, as it could be a trigger. That might be too high of a trigger in some cases.
But I want it to be directly after a signature action, like they're suggesting, and that makes sense to me. But again, a user may only favorite once in their first month of using the app, but maybe still using the app several times to do other things. So it's
it could be their first favorite after they've done at least 3 check-ins, or they've used the map at least 10 times. There's other little things that are, small indicators of involvement in the application, but maybe they don't favorite anything for a year. And then after their
that's
first
why I want to
favorite,
count. I want to count other signature actions like a check-in or a share.
Or maybe we can track X amount of logins and then if they favorite. So either 2 favorites or X amount of logins, then a favorite.
Okay.
Because logging in means they're using the app.
Okay. We have to be careful with the favorite situation because like the flow has aspects to it. It needs to be like the flow has to be done, completely done. Like after, you have the opportunity to share with some friends.
do we track clicks of call buttons for businesses?
That's very rare
That people use it or that we track it?
that people use it.
It's a pretty good indicator of the app having performed its duty for you, though.
More like getting directions would probably be more often.
Sure. Website directions, any of those, like especially if, let's say, it was a person that, if I found an auto body shop,
I would consider it a signature action, like a favorite, a check-in, a share, or inviting someone.
I just mean that is probably the best case of the app did something positive for you rather than you sharing something to it.
I agree.
So at a time where the user probably feels the best value. I agree. It's
a lot of people don't even use the app for businesses. They'll use it for movies and shows and the chat.
That's true.
So that's what I'm saying. That's gonna be a low percentage thing, like super low.
Yeah.
But compared to like favorites, we get hundreds of favorites a day and check-ins, and so there's something going on there, obviously. And those are very signature actions. So okay, how about this? Let me make it simple. How about a combination of 3 shares or favorites? So like 2 shares and a favorite, 2 favorites and a share. I didn't say share.
You mean share via chat?
Check-in. I'm sorry. Check-in. Check-in and favorites. So a combination of 3 check-ins and favorites. So if they do any of those 3 times total, that's when we would ask them to do the review.
And that's combined, right? Like 2 check-ins and a favorite is 3.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, again, I want to be extra careful that we make sure the flow is done and there's not like a badge animation.
I can call an API at the button where the flow is done. So what that means is we'd have this query and I would call it, like let's say, how you can set separately or send that basically when the flow finishes, that last button to exit the flow, that's when I call the API. And then if that's where we determine if we want to show the user or not.
Sure, that works.
We also need to know if the user already gave a rating because we don't want to, we want to make sure we only show it to the user if they didn't rate us before, I guess.
That's true too. I imagine the library must know because like you can get this modal from iOS if I was reading their docs.
Yeah, I'd have to see that part.
They have to like tell you because they already are controlling that information. So I don't know what library you're using, but the one I saw straight from Apple, it says that you can embed this in your app, and it automatically puts the review in the App Store. Like you don't have to leave your app. So with all that said, of course, they have already an existing review.
Yeah. So, I would have to see it, but I don't know how it handles this. So I guess at the beginning, maybe the safest bet is to only show it to the user once until we get a better understanding of how this works, so that we're not showing it to the user who already rated, who already gave us a rating.
Well, definitely only once, but that still doesn't tell us if they've already rated.
I know, but what I'm saying is it should only be triggered once at the beginning, at least when we first introduce this for safety, or for user. Not keep getting us like, I already reviewed this app, why am I getting this again?
Well, yeah. I mean,
until we know how it works, because like over here, I'm looking at the library, I'm reading the docs. I don't see anything maybe necessarily. I just will open the user store review on iOS. I don't see anything necessarily related to the user already gave a review.
there has to be some.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'll do more digging into this, but for now, let's focus on the first time. Because like, I mean, in a lot of apps, I kind of only do see it once. I'll say most apps, even if I don't necessarily write a review. Unless
what?
I only see this once pop up. Like, I don't.
Well, I'll tell you, I see it multiple times. Like the Lyft app, I've just never given it a review, and I use Lyft occasionally, and I see that modal occasionally.
Okay.
And they know I like Lyft because I keep coming back
maybe.
to it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I just need to look into it more. That being
I mean, it's not a bad strategy. I'm sure Lyft wouldn't do it if like they started getting bad reviews, because like clearly like I'm coming back to it. It's working for me.
Correct.
Yeah. So
I
wouldn't just like starting the clock over again for 3 more times.
What's that?
I wouldn't mind starting the clock again for 3 more. Like let's say, our limitation is, they have to do 3 signature actions, but then they say stop now, then we start back at 0. They got to do 3 more.
Yeah, so I guess we need to, the API needs to be finished then, before anything else, so we can use it to trigger it. I guess Jerry or I'm going to be working on that, but.
What API?
So we're going to track 3 actions from the user, whether it's a check-in or a favorite. That means if they check in 2 times and favorite 3, and the third one was a favorite, it would return true, indicating show the review. Or if they favorite 2 times and checked in once, that equals to 3. So it has to be a sum of 3, whether it's favorite or check-in.
Okay. Why don't we do this with a local storage flag?
Local storage flag.
Like in the report.
Do we want to? That means.
Because I mean, I'm going to be
deleting the app and reinstalling it would clear it.
Yeah, you're adding another query in the background for all this.
Well, no, it's not going to be in the background. It's going to be on basically when the user finishes the flow, when they're done, like the button that exits that flow, that's when I would call it.
Right. It's still a. You want to call a query when you want to call a second query.
I guess it would be an extra query call. I guess we can keep track on async storage. Yeah. Let me take a look at that and see how that would work. No, you have one less API call. Because this only it's rare where the user gets this, so it's not worth calling it every single time, I guess. But if that's the case, then then when this does review, I would clear it. Okay. And then I can keep track if they. Well, I wouldn't know if they're reviewed or not. maybe I would.
So
I feel like really looking
Are
for
you-
it.
are you just prompting the review modal? So what?
Yeah, I mean, here, the library is pretty straightforward. Here, let me work. I just sent you the library to look at the docs. It's pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
Um,
Here's what the ASO guys kind of suggested is that you don't just pop up with that review screen. It's bad, and that's how you're most likely to just get your 1-star reviews because people are mad and you're like, I get this out of my face. Even though it says not now.
Mhm.
It could set some people off in the wrong way. So what they've suggested is a separate dialogue that comes up, and it's like, do you love Sircles? Leave us a review on the App Store and help share the love. And then it's like, yes, and not now, and then yes does the native rating dialogue, and no would just snooze it. And what they've even told us is like, no, when you click no, and you've seen this sometimes probably in other apps where you click no and it's like, well, what can we do? What can we help with? And it shows like a support form. Maybe that's a little too extra, but
I have some mixed feelings, and I've done a lot of thinking about it. I think that I used to want to go with the approach you're saying, but it's more steps. So like basically we're going with like a dummy modal at first, and to see if they say a yes or no, and then if they say like something good, then we ask them again. But I've thought a lot about this, and like with the Lyft app, for example, like I know what they're doing. Like it makes sense to do after signature action, so it's kind of obvious like the user is satisfied with the app. And it's one of those things where people will just hit the 5-star to get it out of the way, because as soon as you tap the 5-star, it's gone and you're done. And it's like the simplest action ever. And I think I've noticed that the apps in the App Store that have tens of thousands, millions of reviews, they're doing that system. And they have 4.8, 4.9 stars, because people are just like, 5 stars, get out of the way, 5 stars, get out, just like clear this out of the way. I don't want to see this again. And so
also look at the last bullet point and the thing I sent you.
Okay.
It says, don't ask the user any questions before or while presenting the rating button or card.
Yeah, I used to be more on where Jerry's saying, but I think the more I've examined this, I'm definitely with these bullet points here. I like this idea.
These bullet points are from the library itself. They're not,
right.
Yeah,
from best practices, like they have the data. I get it. I know, and that's why I'm in support of it. And I think we're at a time in our product cycle here where this should work really well for us, because users that are coming back are very satisfied and everything's working really well. And so, and we have the controls here where we can show it after a couple signature events, so like hit all the right notes here. So I think we should do it, but just make sure we don't do it where it's janky. Like I don't want a badge animation to like get in the way or anything weird. Actually, it might not even matter, because like it would just be over the top of the badge animation. Someone might just hit the 5 stars to get it out of the way. So really at the end of the day, it needs to happen after the third signature action, and we're calling those check-in and favorites. Those are our signature actions. So how are we going to control that? Is from the back end, I guess? Is that right?
I think Ismail's going to look into seeing if you can track it in the front end, just because to save himself needing to call a separate query after every signature action.
Okay. Okay. So what do you think, Ismail? Do you have any other questions about it?
Not at the moment. I think I have a clear idea what I need to do, so just gonna kind of give it a shot and see if it works as expected.
Okay.
And this would be maybe the front end approach. Also, I guess one advantage of that is if we do it on the back end, we would have to kind of trace the user's actions. Maybe the user already did a favorite or a check-in, so it'll be confusing how to calculate that. But if we do it on the front end,
Mhm.
each user would be treated as a new user.
Right.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be a huge lift, like a big query to create if we have to do it from the back end. It's just the fact of you're making a network call to fetch this data.
Or what we can do in the signature API response, we can it also pop up things that we also we can do like favorite mutation or checking mutation that we can return a flag.
Yeah, we can return it in there too. Again, it's just the point of making extra database calls. You know,
Yeah, I'd have to create mutations and queries.
Ismail, Amit's saying that we can include it in the response to the mutations, which is a possibility, but it's just the fact that more database calls we're making.
Correct.
And it's something that we can.
Let's see how clean it is on the front end, just using async storage. If that seems to be sufficient, then we're good to go.
Okay. Where does it leave you now, then, Ismail?
Well, I have a plan. I need to go off of it.
Okay. All right, cool. Great. So what will we do in a situation where the a badge animation is queued?
Badge animation is queued. Well,
I suppose it's not probably maybe not the worst thing if like
I'm thinking, but also it probably won't be triggered because if you're inside the flow and you just favorite something, and you got a badge, it would probably not show it because the subscription would trigger, but it would be blocked because you're in the favorite flow or check-in.
Don't we play it after the flow ends though?
Only if we go to the background and back. Remember we had it, I think, like that. So
Okay.
like if you put your app in the background or you close it,
Okay.
then we play it. So really shouldn't be a problem, I would say.
All right. We need to do some more testing around that too.
But yeah, we need a little bit of testing.
What else did you? Wasn't there another?
There was another thing, and that takes me to my next bullet point here that I have, which is custom topics.
Mhm.
So I was talking to Amit this morning, and it looks like from the Figma design, once we click on confirm, it creates the topic. It doesn't create a compose topic screen. So kind of like event, which also doesn't create a compose.
Yeah, I guess that would be the case.
Yeah, so from Figma, so that means we click on confirm, it just creates the topic right away. There's no like.
Yeah, okay, that should be
Okay, so if that's the case, then because like if we were going to create a compose screen, that would have required an extra step. But since we're not, then well, let me think here. Actually, if we do create a compose, it might be actually less work. I was thinking about because it would just follow the other pattern of creating topics.
Okay, so we'd have a custom topic with like some type of image, like a card in the compose window.
Yeah.
In the field.
And then you hit send. Like, well, or is that too many steps because the user already clicked confirm?
Can we look
at
what I
mean? So that's kind of where my mind is with this. Like one is the extra step but less like easier to code, I guess, and the other one is just less step. But it's also quotable spots. It's not that big of a deal. But which one's better for the user? I guess is what I'm saying.
Let me see. Do you have it where you can share?
So it's gonna be the Figma design. Let me share my screen. So we go here. This is the Figma design, right? So this is where we click on confirm, and then after that you can see it just goes and creates the topic, where you can think of it as, you know, click confirm, then you go to the compose screen and you click send here.
Yeah, start at the beginning of this again.
It's just this. It's just when you click on confirm here.
I see.
Is it gonna go from here to boom? You have a new topic created, kind of like events.
Yeah.
Or are we gonna go to here and then have like a compose here, and then you have that send, just like if you click on share?
Yeah,
and
I mean,
select
it
the
seems
movie.
like composing would probably be a good option, because then you might, if you just shared a topic without any context, would be weird. So it might be good to say something with it.
Okay.
You said that might be easier anyway.
To code, yeah, I mean, could potentially be easier.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense, because like what if I'm just sharing a topic, but there's absolutely no context around it? That seems weird. So yeah, let's have it in the compose then.
Okay, so I guess if that's the case, we would have to have an API to create the topic, and that would generate the profile key.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the create message, you don't have to make any changes because we would already have the profile key. Right? Are you following?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Yeah.
We're talking about making a custom topic with a custom profile key. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah, so when you create a topic, a custom topic, there's going to be this new API called create custom topic, which will get called once you click on confirm here.
I think we support that in the database without needing to make a profile. It would have like a topic key. And the topic keys.
Well, we want a profile key, not just a topic key.
Why do we want a profile key? Because a profile is, a profile is reserved for, things you can actually check into and stuff. Why is there a need for a profile key here?
Isn't that how everything's architected around? Like if I share a profile with you, like a movie, show, place,
Yeah, so
front.
let me see here. Once we go to
Every profile already has a key.
Well, but there's a unique key for topics too, and that's how topics are tied to profiles. And for example, what about when you share a user profile? It still has. No, it doesn't have what you call a profile key. It's different pointers. So
does it contain both the topic key and some type of profile key?
Yes. So if you share a user, it's going to have the topic key, which is the unique identifier for the topic, and then a topic user key, which points to the user that's being shared. I just want to make sure that our naming remains consistent, because like I said, a profile, what we call a profile in our database, is something that somebody could check into and favorite. And it doesn't necessarily mean a chat topic. If we're talking about just custom topics that aren't related to a certain place, entertainment, book, podcast, etc., we already support that in the database for truly custom topics not associated with anything in particular.
API is also supporting that thing, JD.
Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure we're not just making a profile for a custom topic.
Okay. Well, whatever you guys think's best. So talk it through some more. I'll stay out of this.
Yeah, Amine. Do you understand what needs to be done?
Yes, I understand that point. What you're talking.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that, because we don't need to be making.
The only thing is, I want to make sure we don't use the profile. Like, I see where you're coming from, Jerry, and it does make sense. It's just, let me see. Is Amine here? Yes, Amine. Do you remember when we're sorry, it took me a little bit of time to find it in the code, but if you can remember off the top of your head, when you select an entertainment here, and you just kind of select, let's say, I don't know anything. Like right now, to create this card, right? Do you remember when we were working on that? Did you need the profile key here, or is the topic key sufficient for just creating this compose?
We don't have a topic key yet.
Over here, we only have a profile key, right? Because we still didn't create the topic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point too.
So what are you doing for sharing like a person? Because a user profile.
Well, there's no compose for a person. We just kind of create it.
I almost think there needs to be some re-architecting on the front end for this because, like I said, there's no.
But the thing is, we can't have a topic key here, Jerry, because this is still not a topic.
I see
like
it.
for user, it does not hit send.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case,
Could you mock a profile or something in the front end to make the compose view work? Because I don't want to just make a profile.
I mean, if we mock it, we have to make sure it's unique because I can go right now and add another and a third and a fourth without actually sending them.
But when they're made, when you send the message, then the topic key is created.
Yeah, after you send it, correct. But I can have multiple compose messages.
So topic keys are not unique across all groups. So like, let's say,
topic keys are unique across. So when you create a topic and let's say you want to share this profile again, it will have the same topic key. It won't create a new topic.
Correct.
Yeah, so they're unique per topic. And at this point, we use the profile key as a topic key because like we need some sort of ID for this to be added to the list of the topics at the top. So we use the profile key as a topic key, but once we have the topic key now, it is gonna be how we identify items.
Right, it's it's after it's made.
So I guess maybe creating it without a compose is actually less of a headache, looks like. John, again, let's, I guess, revisit my question. It looks like after looking into this, creating a profile key, seems Jerry does not want to create it because we can't actually figure this. So that being said, if you click confirm and it just takes you here, it would actually probably be more ideal for these scenarios.
Yeah, and I guess as long as our design stays where it says discuss your new topic there.
Yeah, I would have to add that.
Yeah. Kind of makes sense though to tell them.
But if we really want to compose, then we can still make that happen. We just have to think of a way to uniquely identify these.
That's okay. Let's go this straightforward approach first. Now, are you confident 100%? Because I know we talked about this a few times over the months. Do you have any doubts? Because I kind of have a little bit of doubts, but I'm going to count on you guys that you're sure about the approach.
No, the approach shouldn't be too bad. So I'm guessing the best way to do this is Amine, and I don't know if you're listening, I'm just kind of brainstorming here because I kind of want to avoid making this like very complex, and I kind of want to reuse the code that we already have as much as possible. So my thought is when the user clicks confirm, we store this there's going to be an image and a title. We're going to store these data in maybe like a state and then go back to so we're going to go back to basically this screen after we're done, back to the chat. And over here, if you click send, how does this get created? You pass in you pass in the data to the create message, right? V2.
Yeah, we like everything is in a state, like the profile the user is selecting,
Mm-hmm.
saved in a state. So this is where we derive the UI from that state, and also when the user press send, we use that state to let you know the backend what profile the user selected.
Correct. So I want to. So I don't want to create I don't want to call create message here and have to update the cache from here. So basically, copying all the work we did here.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll probably be better to save the state after the user clicks confirm, and then we kind of call that create message in
custom-
here.
Custom topics.
Yeah, this is for custom topics.
Yeah, we can use the same state. When user do save there confirm, we just save it to the state, and we have the same shape. I know like we don't have much of a, but we can just add a type.
But we're not gonna have a compose. So we want to make sure that state does not try to kind of.
So it's gonna be, so when a user to confirm, it's created. Like
Yeah.
top, it is created.
Yeah, because we don't have a profile key.
Okay, what we can do,
Or if we do want to have it look like this, then. Oh, also I noticed that what if there's no image? We're not gonna create a card? It looks like.
That's a great question. I thought something was missing from here. Well,
Hey, can y'all give me a second? I'm driving my car from the tire shop. Give me like a minute if y'all ask me. I'm just showing you I drive my car.
no problem. Let's see, Danny and Chantel, what do you guys think here about? We designed this so long ago, I don't remember. Do we not need a card for a custom topic, like right off the bat? I guess we don't really need a card.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either.
Okay, I guess that's why we designed it like that. So yeah.
I think John, you will show placeholder image if the user has selected image. That's right.
What about the image?
Placeholder image we will show if the user knows select image for custom topic.
He said a placeholder image.
Yeah. Right.
Well, the thing is, if we want to also do the compose, like the one on here, we will need to create a card.
Yeah.
Do we?
Let me see. Okay,
Why do we?
Huh?
Why do we?
If we do
Because this is what we have. Like
around
we have a compose.
Yeah, I can explain to it. If we're using the architecture we currently use around composing, then it's based on cards. That's why we would need one, not because
That's not with events, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I guess
Yeah, everything has a
it
card.
does. Yeah, it does, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how the backend works. It's gonna set that first flag to true. Like show card is gonna set it to true, but it's not gonna have the image. And we're gonna have to do a lot of workarounds to kind of not show the card. Actually thinking about it now.
Okay, so now we're talking this through. So we need a card?
I think we should, or else we'd have to make some tweaks.
And I think Danny was about to say that helps, like when it comes to sharing a card.
Well, I have a question real quick. What's the first thing you see when you click custom topic?
This.
The far left. Can you slide over just a little bit?
Like this.
Yeah, we copied it off of GroupMe because we wanted to make it super simple. Just give it a name and then jump right in.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe this.
Which it can still do. I mean, the card is generated automatically, like with an event. Like it could be just as simple for the user.
Sure. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We have a card, but it shows what's it called? It shows a placeholder if they don't upload an image.
Yeah, like a gradient kind of image.
Yeah, and because we also need the background to change color, I guess, just to follow like what we already have.
There's that too, yeah.
So And then I would say maybe when the user clicks confirm, we actually create the topic. And why am I saying so? We don't share it, but we do create it. So once it's, and I'll tell you what the downside to this is, but because I'll tell you what the up and downside to this is. If we create the topic, we'll have a topic key, and that's what we can use here instead of the profile key. So that solves the unique identifier problem. The only problem is if the user chooses not to share the topic, we kind of already saved that topic in our database.
I see. If they said that again, if the user chooses not to say,
like they click confirm and then now they're here, right?
yeah.
If they click like the X, they choose not to share it, the topic is still in our database. It got created. That's how it got its topic key.
X, where's the X that you click?
Right here. And you see, look at my simulator.
Oh, simulator. Oh, because you're in the compose, right?
Correct. This would be the easiest to code, and it would follow like there's no work gonna be if you take this approach. There's no fancy, I guess, logic.
Okay, we can remove the X. I mean, the X isn't there on all the cards, actually.
Well, it's not even that. What if they just don't send it? Period.
Oh, you're saying it's already created in the database now.
Yeah.
What do we do in other situations?
In other situations, we keep the profile in the database. We don't care because it's a profile and somebody else might share it.
Okay. I see. I get it. Yeah.
Where this one is like unique to that user. Nobody else is going to be able to share this topic.
Okay. Amine, do you have any thoughts?
How to deal with it? Guys? Sorry, I just dropped the car off. Were y'all calling me for anything?
Not yet.
Okay.
I want to see if Amine has any input.
I was thinking of like when you use it to confirm, we'll just save the save, and we don't actually create a topic. Only after we navigate to the screen, and we will be having like some sort of a use effect that will be like looking for if a custom topic is changed, the value changed, and with that we call the mutation that will create will actually create the topic.
Yeah, that's fine. But like, the only problem with that is I kind of wanted to create a topic just to get that unique identifier. But what about this? What if we just generate a unique identifier ourselves?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, we can do that.
We'll have one that's like super long and complex. Like, how about this? We have one that has letters. Well, that might not be a good idea.
Like, there are libraries for generating unique IDs that are.
I know there is, but yeah. So yeah, maybe we just generate one super long. That way, like the chances of the user already having that in their topic is like 0.001%. Yeah, I think that would work.
Wait, what are we creating that's super long?
So the purpose of me, where I said I wanted to create a unique identifier or a topic beforehand, was to get the topic key.
Yeah.
So maybe if we, and the reason I want the topic key is because when we add this to cat, we need a way to kind of select it, right? And you need some kind of ID.
Yeah.
So I was like, we can just generate one.
Okay.
On the front end side, that's like super long and complex, where it would be almost impossible for it to be similar to another topic key.
Well, yeah, especially if it's alphanumeric. I don't know if that's possible. Which
I don't. I think I'd rather stick with numbers because that's what the app expects.
Okay.
So, but we can just make it like super long, where like the chances of a number, the bigger it is, the less of a chance that you have something of that same ID in your.
We can just base that on a timestamp down to milliseconds. There's no way.
Do what?
Like the ID should be driven from the timestamp down to a millisecond. It will be egg every time for sure.
Well, no, we're not worried about like two of them generating the same key. We're more worried about having similar key to the one that already exists.
Yeah, but
Which,
he's
again,
use
But
the
you can have-
timestamp as the unique identifier.
Yeah, like the
Because the millisecond will be hard to duplicate. Like someone would have to do it at the same millisecond as somebody else for them to have the same ID.
and it's gonna be per user per session. So
What were you saying, Amine? Do you have a?
So Ismail, like I have one idea what you can do. On confirm, you will call create topic API mutation. So you will have the topic key. It will be always unique. Every time you will confirm, it will give you new topic key always.
yeah, but we don't want to create the topic because we're gonna have
And
to
you can
compose.
compose a screen create message v2. That suppose topic key also. You can pass that topic key on that compose screen.
I know, but what if the user decides not to create the topic? Then you have the topic in the database and nobody shared it.
So that will not be said, no? Like when you have, for that you have to be topic key. If you don't have topic key, that is only we will have in database that time.
Yeah, that's what. So if you click confirm, it'll create a topic key, right?
Yes.
What if the user comes here and they click, oh, I don't want to share this anymore?
So it's okay, like the database we will keep it.
Yeah, but you'll have like kind of data that is unusable in the database.
Right.
I think we have an idea. So there's something I want to try on it. This might not require any extra backend work. I guess just one last thing. When we're creating a new topic, we don't have to pass in the profile key, do we?
No, we don't need.
Okay.
Inside topic.
No, I'm talking about inside create message v2.
Create message v2 also there's a topic input. Object.
Yeah, but we don't have to pass in profile key, right?
We don't need to pass profile key.
Okay, then I think you don't have to make any backend changes. I think.
Okay.
After this, after looking at this, we might be able to pull it off.
I will not commit my changes then. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think we need to create any backend changes. We just need we would have an image.
And create changes should also be done in the.
Well, I guess we would have to upload the because we would have an image where we would need a link for the image, so the image does have to be uploaded. Or maybe I can save the image in the state, and it only gets uploaded after the user clicks send, which will take extra long. Because right now, if I click send, it's instant. It won't be instant anymore. Are you guys following what I'm saying? So let me repeat. We create a topic, we uploaded an image. Now, we can't upload this to the backend yet because we don't know if the user's going to share the topic or not, right?
Mm.
So I have to save this image, and when I'm inside this compose and I click send, then the image has to upload, which can take extra time. So this won't be instant anymore. Or maybe it would, because it would be optimistic response, because I already have the image. Okay, let me think this through. Okay, yeah, maybe I can pull it off. Let me give this a shot, and see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I can pull it off.
Any questions?
Without any extra API calls.
Okay. No questions or anything?
Well, I have to try a few things. At the moment, I have a plan. I just need to kind of put it into code and see if it works.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Wasn't there another bug that you were looking at yesterday? What did I send you yesterday?
Other bugs. Oh yeah, there's the one where for the name, who created the event or the topic.
Yes.
Yeah, that might fix.
Okay. Is that in the bill that you submitted yesterday?
Yes, should be part of it.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me see if I have any more notes. Custom topic, create app, retry. There's the kill switch button that we still kind of, the misspelling of the name there.
On update?
Yeah.
Well,
But that one, I guess we decided to basically push out OTA for the builds who do have OTA.
We could do that.
So, but yeah, and that's pretty much everything I'm aware of. I don't know if there's anything else you said. I don't see anything else in my notes.
Okay, yeah, I think, okay, I think that's we're mostly in the clear there. I did
also, just an idea, since build 2.0,
yeah.
the one, we pushed that to the App Store as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now in iOS and Android, we have 2.0, which does support authenticating the user. So what I'm saying is, instead of worrying about that kill switch, even that misspell, we want to give this authentication. We want to introduce it as soon as possible. But here's the good news: anything 2.0, 2.2 and up, you don't have to have a kill switch there because it's send authentication key. So if we give it some more time, eventually everybody would update, whether it's overnight by itself, whether it's new users who are coming, whether they just update. Then the people who are at a version that doesn't support authentication are like maybe like 10% or 20%.
Yeah.
Instead of like 40 or 50 or 60.
I just they just had to bring me to the back. I gotta get off all 4 new tires, but I'm hearing kill switch. So what's going on with that?
Oh, I was just saying, instead of activating the kill switch for authentication, you know how in build 2.2 and up we have that authentication on the front end side?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying we wait a little bit longer. Because now anybody who downloads the app recently, they're going to have that authentication on the front end side. And people who have the old version are probably going to update, whether it's overnight automatically or they update the app. So if we wait like maybe a week or two or a month, then the people who have versions under 2.2 are going to be like a very low percentage. So then introduce the kill switch after like that period of time so that the least amount of people see that kill switch.
I agree with that, but I want to make sure everybody's up to date before we do the radio show. John, do you know when that's going?
We haven't scheduled you yet.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, Jerry. Because anybody who downloads the app from now on is going to have the authentication.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of users are going to come back into the app after the show.
Oh.
Because a lot of these people are people who were, early investors, and they're going to want to see, what's John hyping up.
Well, correct, but then they're probably going to also update the app.
Not always.
Well, maybe we do that on the radio. We kind of ask them to update to get the latest. Because like if he's pumping up these like, we have now this and this in the app, they're not going to see that unless they update. Especially if they're old users.
We do that. Not everyone does, so maybe we have to accept that.
Well, correct, but regardless, what I'm saying is the percentage of people who are going to be under 2.2 is going to be very low. So the kill switch can maybe wait because
the whole
authentication can wait a little bit until we have more people are on a newer version of the app, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to force it. I want to make sure we get that authentication put in quick. Like, I want it actually enforced quick. because
Well, anybody
It's
that
just-
updates, right? Like a lot of people have automatic updates on, so anybody who has even automatic update on gets it, right?
No, but here's how you need to understand this. For this to work, the backend has to, the front end has to send it, the backend has to handle it.
Yeah, if they, what John's saying is that they update, as long as they're on 2.2.
Well, no, John thinks if they update, they get the authentication. Which,
Well, okay,
that's not the case if the backend is not handling it.
It's the token. The token's going to happen in 2.2. But yeah, I need to turn it on for the backend to start enforcing people getting, people having 2.2 or higher.
So basically, John, if he enables authentication, it's going to break the app for everybody who doesn't have 2.2 plus. So when we activate it, we have to activate it with the kill switch. And so that's why I'm saying maybe hold off a little bit. I mean, we've been going this far so far without it. So,
Right, yeah.
and we're not, we still didn't hit the point where we're getting like hundreds of thousands of users. It's more like, so I agree with Jared. We have to get in as soon as possible, but we also, maybe if we want to limit the amount of people that see the kill switch, and then if they're like under 10% or 15%, we probably don't even have to worry about necessarily updating the syntax. Maybe we can if we want to, but
I don't know the number though of like how many people are going to be in an old version.
I think we have a way of knowing through amplitude.
Well, I'm thinking that these are people who probably may not have been in the app for a year.
There's going to be lots of that. Yeah, there'll be people who, just we don't have any record of until they come back. So like, even if they have automatic updates on and they haven't been back in a year, we don't know if they have automatic updates on or not. We really don't have any way of knowing what version they're in until they come back in, right?
Correct. And also another way to handle that syntax error is we put the OTA update for people who are 9. Well, then again, even if we push that OTA update, we have to kind of push it now for them to see it later. So we can update let's say 90 from people who are on 90 and up. We can give OTA, which we fix the spelling. But then the people who are under 90, we can tell them in the message, so instead of navigating them to the app store, we can have them do it themselves. We just tell them to do it. Because you can send a custom button title, which is based off of the backend. So that one's dynamic. You know what I mean? They would lose the conveniency of clicking the button and us taking them to the app store for the right spelling. So it's kind of a trade-off. If that's something we want to do.
I almost think I think they need to have the button. If the button doesn't send them to the app store, I think that's going to be really discouraging.
Yeah, I agree too, but I'm just giving them options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we have to have that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's our plan?
This is what I would recommend. Pushing the OTA, fixing the spelling on versions that support OTA. That's step 1. Step 2 is just waiting a little longer to give everybody a chance to update the app and then enforcing the authentication.
Okay.
Ismail, here's the catch with the kill screen. So we have versions of the kill screen that don't have OTA. And let's say somebody's in version 73.
I know that's what I'm saying. We push OTA for whatever supports OTA, and whatever doesn't support OTA, they will just see the misspelled word.
Okay, so your proposed fix in Bill 99 would be is to change what it's spelled on the front end, even though the back end is sending the wrong text.
No, so here's what would happen. The back end can send the wrong text regardless, because that's one that's needed for the older versions. Now with the OTA, I'll if it's spelled like this, just change the spelling to this, please.
Okay, that's what I was suggesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's
yeah.
fine.
so that the user sees the right syntax. Now, this is going to be for build 90 and 95 and 98, whatever. Like anybody 90 and over will get that OTA. Because a lot of people who recently joined in the thousands were 90 plus.
Yeah, we need to make sure that, okay, when we push the OTA, how does it? So you have to create one OTA per build, not just like an overlapping one, right?
Yeah, one for each build. We
Yeah,
have to
like
see all our previous versions that are in the App Store, and yeah, for each one we have to push a separate OTA.
Right, because I know we added some native packages like blur hash and like between 90 and 98.
Correct.
So
yeah, we have to be very careful with that, and that's the only part that kind of scares me, or I'm a little worried about. Where I was like, is it worth the risk? Because if you push around OTA, none of us would know because none of us are on that version.
You could,
well, I guess
we could try with build 90. We can go to build 90 on test flight and try to push OTA to QA.
Yeah. Well, it'll be, yeah. So yeah, I guess let me take a note. I need to work on those. So I would have to have like 3 OTAs, I think, separate ones. So what I do is I started making branches. I started making branches for each build, which wasn't the case before. I don't know when I started that up. I'd have to see. So I realized that when you create an OTA, you kind of have to keep whatever's in the App Store in a separate branch. So when you create an OTA, you're just pushing that specific change, right? Like for example, you can't create an OTA off of development because that one would, like you said, would have new libraries, would have new code. So you have to make sure, like let's say you build 90, I have to have a branch that's build 90 that has not been touched or updated. Because it has to match exactly what's in the App Store. And then I have to create the OTA off of that branch. So I started doing that. I just don't know if it goes back to build 90. Which, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of the plan. Because like we know OTA works, and we've done it hundreds of times. Like it's like we don't need to test OTA, so to speak. We just need to make sure that we have the right branch, the right code. We don't break anything.
Okay, so we have a
worked
plan.
me a little bit because like for example, let's say I have branch 95. I would assume it has not been touched, but I don't know if I can be 100% sure it matches the App Store. So that's the risk or that's the only my only concern is that I believe it hasn't been touched. I'm not 100% sure it hasn't been touched. Like I'm not 100% sure it matches the App Store. I don't know if somebody added maybe a little this, a little that. Maybe I fixed this, Maybe I updated it by accident.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have to decide all this right now, right?
No, but I'm just kind of raising concerns that I have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get the stuff out that we have right in front of us. Let's see. There's a bug I sent Amine in Slack. Did you see that, Amine?
Yeah, that you were interrupted when you were watching a trailer.
Those 2 problems, that was minor, but then after that, did you see that that whole flow kept, I couldn't get out of it. I go back and it restart, and it was like, there was a lot of issues there.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. So, is this all in the video? Like this?
Yeah, then, yeah, towards the end, and then there's like some follow-up screen records.
Okay.
it was, I couldn't go back. Like if I went back, I was stuck at the lobby.
I see.
And then I'm pretty sure I was able to press the button before it was all completed. I'm wondering if this made it into the App Store, because this isn't the latest build, but I don't know that I encountered this before or not, you know?
So you're saying like after you were taken to the entertainment search, you did the back and it took you back only to that white screen with the web, like the mark with.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also before that even, it replayed the Lottie animation from the magnifying glass. Like if you see the end of the first video.
Let me see again.
It was defects that we've already addressed. That's why I don't get it. Like it's, it was stuff we already took care of.
Oh yeah, did you play while you were in the screen, the entertainment search?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. How did that get reintroduced?
I have no idea why is that there. Let me see. I don't know, and I think it's only like changes from the last build.
Okay,
So
that's good. It's only in QA.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay. Oh, hope so. I feel like I would have noticed it before, but
Yeah, and also because like I remember like I see a change where this could be happen. I'm not really sure about. So yeah, that's like I'm talking about like Laffy being replayed. Maybe where that's been introduced as
you have an idea where it got introduced?
Yeah, let me see again so I can share. See that code.
I'm back again. Did I miss anything?
No. But were there additional bugs that you were looking into, Jerry?
The only one I was looking at was the ANRs for the background fetch.
Okay.
I mean, that's something if we want to do an OTA, we could probably push that OTA as well. It's a thought. We haven't. I don't think they've reviewed it yet, but it's a thought.
Okay. Let's see what they think about it. Okay. So, what did you find, Amine?
Yeah. So I'm not sure what else if you're here. So the code there's like a use effect that might cause this. Like it's inside in that specific screen that toggles the wheel again. So I'll have to ask Wells like
Wells, are you here?
Yes, sir, I am. What's going on?
Yeah, hey, I have a question. In your PR, the search spotlight in your PR?
Yes, sir. What about it?
In the file, like the change in the file, entertainment dash search that screen, like.
Just a second. Let me open that PR so I can follow you. So yeah, about the search spotlight Neo. In which file?
Entertainment search screen.
The entertainment search screen.
if you scroll down to the last change in that file, like where there's a use effect added with a toggle.
Right, there's a use effect. I see.
So this causes like a defect in that screen in another flow. So I just wanted to know like the reason you added that, like what you were trying to do, so we can cover both cases.
Yeah, in which screen did that cause a problem? So that line is from the old Spotlight entertainment screen. It is the one responsible for making overlay screen toggle out. So
what do you mean by old?
Yeah, so we still have that in the app, the Spotlight entertainment screen, and we have the entertainment search screen that is the screen from the wheel. So what this PR does is it makes them kind of like P1. So instead of leading people to the Spotlight entertainment screen, we take them to the entertainment search screen, which is this one. So this logic, it is exactly the same as it is on the Spotlight entertainment screen. So I basically got the same structure.
Yeah, this is like inside entertainment search screen. So like what's the logic do? It's like toggle an overlay lottery. Do you want to do that? Because
yeah, we do, because when you come from the navigation, so you hit search in the bottom when you press entertainment, at that moment the overlay screen is going to be shown. So when the screen appears, you want to toggle that off. So that's the line is supposed to do this.
Well, I cannot share screen. But let me share screen so I can show you what's the defect that's happening now.
All right, I see. Oh, so that's kind of like the first time ever someone uses this feature. Okay, so the tutorial is kind of like overlapping. And by the way, I mean, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Yeah, they are overlapping, and so in this case, in this flow, the lottery was not there, so it's being shown. But in your case, it was there. It needs to be hidden. So, and what toggle does, it's like if it's true, make it false. If it's false, make it true. Maybe what we can do is like instead of using a toggle, like we can have an explicit function that's like says show or hide, and per case we use what's relevant. For your case, it's gonna be hide, and yeah. So I think this is how, unless you have other way of
Also, yeah, I had not thought of that because the screens are in different contexts. But I think that we can do also is make it so that condition, because so far it's like if the screen is from onboarding to good, we can make it so like if the screen is different than onboarding and the screen is the screen I'm using here, which is home. So if the screen is home, then toggle. So I think that will hold for any other place, because probably on that one you're showing me right now, we are not even passing a screen to that part. So it will be different from onboarding, so it will toggle. So if we make it so we add that condition, we make sure that the toggle is only happening on the screens we want. And for that, I have to take a closer look into which places are calling this and all the scenarios, so we can map the screens and have them being treated in that statement.
Yeah, that's good too. That's like the straightforward. We'll cover the cases both.
Yeah, awesome. Also, how do you get to test this first interaction you're having now? I mean, is that an easy way for me to test it as well?
Yeah, if you want to trigger that, you will need to just be in the ad inactive for like a minute or something, then you will see it. And also, like, I can show you how, like, from code to have it every time. So within a minute while you debug in, so you can have it every time. Then it's gonna be
awesome. If you can select that to me, I can make sure it will work as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're 100% sure though that this didn't make it into the accident?
Yeah, because it depends. Like, because we just merged this, I guess, yesterday, right? No, not this one. It's this one. Where is it?
If it was merged yesterday, then it's okay.
Yeah, let me see. Is it like yeah, changes approved yesterday, merged yesterday.
Okay.
So those only merged yesterday, and it's and I'm sure like this is the change that causes it.
Okay.
The issue.
Okay, cool. So Wells, do you know what to do?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Okay. And then, I mean, does it account for everything? Because there's a few things going on in the screen records I see.
No, it's gonna only for this behavior. Like you see the latte again when you navigate. This is the only fix. That would, yeah. As for what's the other issue?
Well, I could also press the button early, and then also like go back, and it would be stuck there.
Oh yeah, to go back. Pressing button earlier. I'm sure I've covered that.
I know you did.
Which one? This one or the entertainment? This one.
Right there. But it was after I went back. I don't know that it was.
Oh, like you did back and you see it again.
Yes.
And you press on it. Yeah, that's different. Maybe that's like now you are like a bad state. So yeah. You can expect anything because you're not supposed to go back to that screen.
Right. Okay. So wonder why it's
like is trying to think how you can monitor stuff. Let me see what I'm doing back on this. It's weird because back it takes you to the home, like it navigates to home every time. So
not the flow I came through. Don't forget.
I know. But what I'm saying is, at least you should be in the home. I know it's wrong, but you should have been in the home because that's how it was. Not sure why I just did it back for you. Because that's just a bag. What you just experienced. Okay.
Maybe it has something to do with the flow that I came through with the trailer.
Maybe that's why it was missing the parameter screen. Because well, let me see the video again.
Yeah, because I watched a trailer for a movie.
And yeah, you're watching a trailer then.
Yeah, and then when I hit back, it's like right there. Like, see how it's, or I don't hit back, I hit X, right? So I hit X on the trailer, and it kind of does a little bit of a weird transition, and then that screen is there. So that's already probably a defect in itself. Like maybe it shouldn't be there like that.
What's what's the defect then? Like you said with the X?
No, I'm watching the trailer, and you know how the delay occurs. So like, let's say, 15 seconds.
Because you are inactive, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like trying to run that Lottie with the trailer trying to close. It's maybe causing problems. It's definitely a bad UI.
Yeah, it's just like we need to because like this trailer thingy got introduced after we worked on this, and it would we will not handle this case.
Right.
So it's just like how we want to handle it. Like, do we like, so if a user watching something, does the inactivity triggers or no? Because remember how it's like we did it for the keyboard?
Yeah. Can you apply it to a trailer also?
Yeah, it's I mean, not the same thing, but like I'll be adding, if a user I'll have to see if there is a way to know whether the user is watching something. Then I can add it to the inactivity detection. So I'll be like, a user is watching, don't bother with detecting whether the user is active or not.
Okay. And it's kind of an edge case, but it did happen. Okay. So do you think that's the reason I was able to go back?
You were able to go back like here, like when you fin like this one?
Yeah, here, now going back brings me
yeah.
back to body.
No, I don't think so, because you like, I'm specifically handling the case. If you're coming in from a show me how, it should be taking you to, but only I'm looking for this flag. Maybe it's missing for some reason. Yeah, maybe because if you are in that flow, the file will look into it. I don't know, but that's the first thing that I will look into.
Okay. Well, so then why don't we take a look at that, and then you let me know if you can't reproduce it or anything, but it sounds like you understand how it happened and everything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I do.
Okay. And then what else did you work on yesterday?
Yesterday, like there was like let me see. So yeah, the map, like when I finished working on it and everything, I was like, it was like fine working. Like there was like a render issue. If you select something, it's always take you back to restore. But the other issue as noticed is like, see how like the bills, they're not updating or this list. Like now I'm in medical healthcare, and it's maybe and it's always it's only after like you select. Do we want it?
When you say after you select, what do you mean by after?
Let me show you. So it's like it working like not.
It's not. Yeah, when you rotate the wheel, it should update.
It should update, yeah, but if only updates after like is it now I'm on food, like I'm the food that it's been selected. You can see it's always showing food only after selecting a subcategory, then it's not.
Oh, okay, yeah. Can you fix that?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, because like it's it was like missing with the colors and everything. That's what I took care of first. Now the colors, they are correct. It's just like I have to have those in sync. Okay. And what else? Yeah, I'll need to change that. I have it ready, like some of it ready, so I'll push it. And the 3-button thingy, yeah, that's like 80% done. It's not really full done. I have it there, just like it's not
what 3 buttons?
Remember like if you use a press on the home button 3 times,
Oh, that, yeah.
with triggers flow. So yeah, it's there, like it's almost there. It's not there, but it's almost like 80% done.
Okay.
So I'll have it in my PR today.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. All right, then thank you for that. Looks like Ian had a question.
Just for Amine, I wanted to go over that Instagram thing if it's a good time.
Oh yeah. You want to explain it?
Yeah. So I mean, we have a if you're in the Instagram app and you hit the share button on, say, like a reel or something like that in Instagram, in iOS you have the option to bring up the native drawer of applications that you can share to, and Circles doesn't show up in that drawer. I think it's because I'm copying a link. Like when I'm in Instagram and I hit the share button, if I try to share out to other applications, I'm pretty sure the thing in my clipboard is a link instead of, for example, an image. If I copy an image and I go click on an image and I try to share it, Circles does come up.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see if we can get compatibility in iOS for it to work with what I think is links, so that Instagram.
Well, he's saying, because of what I remember, what I know, it's we show in that list if you're trying to share an image, regardless iOS or Android. Are you seeing?
Yeah, I remember you worked on that. And yeah, if I do a screenshot and I want to share, Circle shows up on the drawer.
Yeah.
But what about, like Ian saying, from another app? We're not showing up in that list for some reason.
No, because that native, like that drawer is native. It has nothing to do with the ad. But it depends what the type you're trying to share. Like, are you saying even if you're trying to share an image, Circles is not showing up?
That's a good question. Can you share an image from Instagram?
Yeah. Well, no, because Instagram doesn't.
It's only links. Yeah.
It's always a link.
Yeah, it's just always a link.
That's why we only like subscribing for images or like.
Can we expand that to?
Yeah,
also...
we can do that to links. Yeah.
Okay, Ian, will you send Amine a note about it so he can?
Yeah, please.
Have that.
Yeah, how you want me to just send that to you in Slack, Amine?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do. I got a good description. I'll send it over to you now.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Okay, thanks, Ian. So, was there something else to Ian that you needed, or questions you have?
No. I have some things I need to go over with you. We have, we're ready to make some changes with Core and routing people to Circles. Oh, I guess this is one that we could talk about as Standup. We need a landing page to hit for people that come from our Tech2U core system, so that they understand what's happening. I want to keep the thumbs up, thumbs down. I want to keep the text message. I can keep all of that the same.
Yeah.
Because it inspires people to click the link and then give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If they give us a thumbs down, I still get the chance to fix the situation. If they give us a thumbs up, I need somewhere for them to go. Originally, I was just thinking it would be one of the links Jerry already created, but the landing page that he has basically says like, hey, if you already have the app, we'll route you there shortly. And then if not, it takes you to the App Store. But I think we need possibly more description, definitely more description, because a person is going to click thumbs up, I like the service, and then they're going to end up on this thing that they've never seen before. So we need some kind of a landing page to explain, if you were happy with your service with Tech2U, download the Circles app, you get a discount on your next, whatever we want it to say. But I would need...
work with Jerry on that, because he did one already for like the events chat link.
Well, that may be different. I think Ian is looking for something a bit more explanatory, because what I've done for the events is just like, hey, Zane wants you to join this chat, enter your phone number, hop in Circles. It's more or less like our campaign flow.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. So what did you want on that page, Ian?
What's that?
Yeah, sorry, Ian, you wanted more of a description on that page?
Yeah, basically what's going to happen is they're going to say thumbs up, I was happy with Tech2U, then they're going to immediately bounce to this page, and that page needs to explain why they're there and what the goal is.
Yeah.
Now I could come up with some stuff and just pass it by you as a draft, and then we can have Jerry work up the page. It's not complicated. The page's function is basically just a landing page, and nothing automatic happens except for maybe some tracking on the back end. It would be they would have to press a button to continue, and that button would then have some better features in it. You know, it could open up the Tech2U business profile inside of our app, or if they don't have it installed, then it can open up the App Store. It's really just the wording on that page that I don't know. So, you and I can work together on that, but I can come up with some placeholder text, work with Jerry on the page. And I don't think there's anything else needed for a build. I'm pretty sure that's it. We have Jerry build the page and you and I come up with the text, and the technology behind it is not all that complex.
Yeah, one of the things is, let me regather my thoughts. So, so I sent you the list for like all the locations that you want to support. So the emails that you're sending out, it's going to be able to change that link dynamically.
Yeah, I already know what location is appropriate in the Sircles app to route them to favorite us.
Cool.
But John, do you want me to have people favorite San Diego Computer Help, which is one of our businesses, or would you rather we just target everybody to the Howe Avenue Tech 2 location?
Well, it probably wouldn't make sense to do that if you're responding to something that's local to you. It probably should.
Agree. I don't know that they would even know the difference. The user, if they.
Yeah.
The thing is that most of these people obviously are not going to already have the app, so we kind of need to tailor the experience with that in mind. And that said, when they download the app, we don't have a way to get them to see Tech to You.
Why don't we stay here on the call? We can let the others drop.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Wells, did you you still have some stuff you're working on, right?
Yes, sir, I do. I believe I have pretty good updates to give you.
Okay. Hold on to those, and then I'm gonna because you're still working on the thing with Amine just gave you to, right? So let's get that knockout first, and then I want to get an update from you.
Okay.
Okay, great. And I want to let Amine go, and then Ismail and Amine, you guys can work independently and just keep me posted on how things are going.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. Ismail, let me know if you got any questions on my background batch PR. And maybe we might want to include it with an OTA if we plan on doing one, but let me know what y'all think.
Will do.
Okay, thanks guys. Thank you. All right. So then, go ahead, Ian. Let's talk like a little bit more.
Sure. So, considering that the majority of people that are going to receive Core have never, I probably even heard of Sircles. Let's just assume that, let alone have it on their device. We're going to send them the Core review. It's going to say, let us know how we did. They click the link. They give us a thumbs up. They hit a landing page. So the landing page's explanation first needs to tell them what to do next. There's got to be some instruction there with like a mild abbreviation of some kind of what Sircles is. But the thing is, once they click the link that we're going to have them progress forward, they're going to download the app, presumably sign up, and then they're going to be in the app when it's all done. But as far as I know, we don't have any technology to open Tech to You automatically when they've gotten through onboarding.
I thought we did have a link to business profiles. No?
That would be news to me. That's cool.
No, there was a landing page that kind of looked like the profile page that's in Sircles. That was something that Jeff Robinson did years ago. I uncovered it, but it is like extremely broken right now and would basically just have to be rebuilt.
Ooh, I might have just come up with a good idea. We could use our API connection that we created. Well, API connection, the connection between Field 3 and Sircles. If we send a text, we know whose number we sent a text to for a review. Sircles knows the phone number of people who have signed up for the app. We can use that combined information to say, this person who we sent a text to yesterday, 5 minutes ago, whatever, just created an account with Sircles. We trigger a timer for another text message to send to them after they've signed up in the app. Tech to You still sends that text It's in the same text conversation as us asking for the review. And the text message reads something like, thank you for signing up for Sircles. Whatever positive message we want to say about Sircles, click this link to favorite tech to you. And then they tap that link, which will take them directly to the profile. Wow.
Let's walk through this again. So, because we're going to use our thumbs up, thumbs down, right?
Right. So first, thumbs up, then bounce to a landing page, which 99% of people are going to hit, not have the app, and then we're going to rely on them downloading it.
Yeah.
If they download it and they sign up.
What do we do normally? So it would say something like leave us a Google review at the landing page?
Yeah, basically you get the thumbs up, thumbs down, you hit thumbs up, and then immediately you're routed to a Google profile page with the 5-star review already filled out with 5 stars, and all you have to do is press submit. Yeah. And you've given us 5 stars.
Okay.
So we would be replacing that component with the landing page that says to download Sircles and favorite us.
Yeah, okay. I see. And your idea was you get to that landing page and then what?
So you get to the landing page, we have to discuss what text goes there, but let's say we write a very encouraging message for the person to download the app, and they download it and they sign up. So now they're in the app, they've completed onboarding, but there's nothing in the app guiding them to favorite us on Sircles. So we use our connection that we have between Field 3 and Sircles to identify a Tech2 customer just signed up. Now we trigger a text message from Tech2 to that user. It's a follow-up to our asking for a review. So we asked for the review, they signed up, they downloaded Sircles, then we say, great, thank you so much for downloading Sircles. Whatever positive message we want to say, click this link to favorite Tech2.
Well, wait, Jerry, why can't we have the initial deep link take the user to the Tech2 profile?
If they have the app installed, great, it could.
Well, so if I tap on the link and then I go install the app, it won't carry me through?
Correct.
Why not?
There's no routing, because so you get the app, you have to onboard first because you're going to be a new user.
Yeah.
And then after you onboard, we don't have anything that would,
we know their phone number.
Yeah, but we don't have anything in the app right now that after they onboard, it routes them to the Tech2 profile.
Well, let's talk about how to do it. So we're texting them, obviously, so we have their phone number. So that unique